Namaste students, welcome back to my channel. Students, in our previous video, we have studied about the valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, which explain the structure or the shape of a molecule. But we also studied that the VSEPR has limitations also. So the limitations of the VSEPR has been explained by the two modern theories, and the name of those two theories were the valence bond theory and the molecular orbital theory. So today in this video we are going to talk about the valence bond theory, which explain the limitations of the VSEPR. So without any delay, let's get started. VBT, that is the valence bond theory. This theory was put forwarded by Hitler and London in 1927 and developed by Pauling and others. So this theory was given by Hitler and London in 1927, but improved version of this theory was given by Pauling. Now we can understand this theory in two terms. In the first term, we understand this theory in the terms of the energy consideration, and in second, we understand this theory in terms of the orbital overlap concept. So the first term means the first concept is the energy consideration and the second concept is the orbital overlap. So if we understand this theory in the energy consideration, so according to this theory, when the two atoms are far apart from each other, then there is no energy between these two atoms. But when the atoms come close to each other, then there exist two different types of forces. One, the force of attraction, which is between the electron of one atom and the nucleus of the other atom. And this force of attraction tends to decrease in the energy of the system. And another one is the force of repulsion, which is between the nucleus of the two atoms and the electrons of the two atoms, and this force of repulsion results in the decrease of the energy of the system. So according to valence bond theory, when the two atoms are far apart from each other, there is no energy between these two atoms. But as soon as atoms come close to each other, then two different types of force exist between them. First, the force of attraction. The force of attraction is the force between the electron of one atom and the nucleus of another atom, or electron of another atom and the nucleus of the first atom. And this force of attraction tends to decrease in the energy of the system. And decrease in energy means increase in stability. But along with the force of attraction, we also get one more type of force, that is the force of repulsion. Now, force of repulsion is between the nucleus and the electron. This force of repulsion tends to increase in energy of the system. And due to the increase in the energy of the system, there is decrease in stability. Now, according to VBT, if two atoms when come close to each other, if the force of attraction overcome the force of repulsion, it means the net result is the force of attraction. So if the net result is the force of the attraction, then there is decrease in the energy of the system, and there is possibility of the bond formation. But if the net result is the force of repulsion, then there is increase in energy, and increase in energy means there is no chance of bond formation. So this is the bond formation according to VBT in terms of energy consideration. Let us take an example of formation of hydrogen molecule. Formation of hydrogen molecule. Now, suppose here I have first hydrogen, here is the nucleus, +1 charge, and here is one electron. This is the first hydrogen. Now, the second hydrogen, suppose here +1 charge, and here the electron. Here the electron. Now, when these hydrogen atoms come close to each other, then what happens? There exist these two forces, means electron is attracted by the nucleus and this electron is attracted by this nucleus. Means blue lines are the force of attraction, and this electron is repelled by this electron and this nucleus is repelled by this nucleus. Means the black lines are the force of repulsion. It means we have two force of attractions and two force of repulsion. Two force of repulsion. Now, when we draw the potential energy diagram, for hydrogen, here is the potential energy of the system and here is the distance between the two atoms. So when they are away from each other, let the energy be here. Now when they come close to each other, in this diagram we get the curve like this. Now what does this mean? This line means when the atoms are coming close to each other. This represents R. R means the distance between the two atoms. So when they are coming close to each other, so distance decreases. That's why we are studying the graph from here, not from here. Because we are bringing the atoms close to each other. We are not keeping, we are not bringing the atoms far from each other. We are not keeping them far from each other. We are bringing them close to each other. So distance decreases. So suppose when they are far apart from each other, let the potential energy be here. Now this graph tells us that when they come close to each other, what happens? Energy decreases. And energy decreases when the force of attraction occurs. It means in this case the force of attraction is greater than the force of the repulsion. In case of hydrogen, the force of attraction is greater than that of the force of the repulsion, and because of this, the energy of the system decreases. And at this point, after this point, the graph becomes like this. Now it means that after this point, when we try to bring the two atoms more close to each other, then the force of repulsion overcomes the force of attraction, as a result of which energy increases. So this point is known as internuclear distance. Internuclear distance between two hydrogen atoms. Internuclear distance between two hydrogen atoms. So internuclear distance means the distance at which the two atoms are bonded to form a molecule or a compound. So when we are bringing the two atoms close to each other, first force of attraction dominates over the force of repulsion, as a result of which energy decreases. But after certain point, the energy increases because force of repulsion becomes greater than the force of attraction. and this point is known as internuclear distance. And for hydrogen, it is 74 picometer. For hydrogen, it is 74 picometer. And in our previous videos, we have studied that half of the internuclear distance in a covalently bonded atom is known as covalent radii. So half of 74 is the covalent radii of the hydrogen atom. So what happened here in case of hydrogen, when we bring atom close to each other, energy decreases because the force of attraction overcome the force of repulsion. But after internuclear distance, what happened? Energy again increases because the force of repulsion overcome the force of attraction. Now, with the help of the energy consideration, we can explain that why helium molecule does not exist. Means why there is not existence of the helium molecule, we can explain with the help of the energy consideration of the VBB. How? With the help of the potential energy diagram. Now, if I draw the diagram of the two atoms, this is the nucleus plus 2 charge, and this is one electron, this is another electron. Similarly, second helium plus 2 charge, first shell, one electron, another electron. Now, in this case, we get 4 force of attractions and 5 force of repulsion. How? This nucleus attract this electron as well as this electron. 2 force of attractions. This nucleus attract this electron and this electron. So total line becomes 4. So we get 4 force of attraction. Now this nucleus repel this nucleus. This nucleus repel this nucleus. This electron repel this electron. This electron repel this electron. But this electron also repel this electron. And this electron also repel this electron. So how many black lines we get? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And blue lines we get only 4. So in case of helium, we get 4 force of attraction and 5 force of repulsion. And when we saw the potential energy diagram for helium, when we saw the potential energy diagram for helium, in this case, energy increases with increase in the internuclear distance. Energy increases with increase in the internuclear, with decrease in the internuclear distance. It means when helium atoms are bring close to each other, then what happen? The force of repulsion dominates over the force of attraction, as a result of which energy of the system increases, and because energy of the system increases, there is no chance of the formation of chemical bond. So with the help of this diagram and with the help of this, we can say that in helium we get 4 force of attraction and 5 force of repulsion. And through the diagram also we get to know that on decreasing the internuclear distance, the force of attraction overcomes the force of repulsion, as a result of which the bond between two helium is not possible and we don't get helium molecule. So this is the VBT on the basis of the energy consideration. Now we'll explain the valence bond theory in terms of the orbital overlap concept. Orbital overlap concept. Now, according to the orbital overlap concept, the energy of any system decreases when the half-filled atomic orbitals of the two different atoms partially overlap with each other. Now, partially overlapping means some part of the electron cloud of the two atomic orbital become common. Some of the part of the electron cloud of the two atomic orbital become common, as a result of which probability of finding electron in that area is maximum as compared to the other area. So according to orbital overlap concept, I'll explain you, because there is a question in your mind that what ma'am said we don't understand. So orbital overlap concept means whenever the two atoms combine with each other, these two atoms should have the half-filled orbitals, half-filled valence orbitals. And when these two atoms combine, then what happened? The half-filled orbitals of the two atoms partially overlap with each other. Partially overlap with each other means the electron cloud of first atom, means some part of the electron cloud of first atom and some part of the electron cloud of another atom become common for both of them. Suppose here we have two different atoms. Suppose this is the electron cloud of two atoms. Okay, this much is the electron cloud of first atom and this much is the electron cloud of the second atom. Now I am bringing these two atoms here. And suppose if I join this portion, with this portion, suppose if I have joined. So what happened? This portion becomes common for both of them. This portion becomes common for both the marker. So this is that area where we get the common electron cloud for both the marker. So at this point, the probability of finding the electron cloud is maximum as compared to the other point. So this is the meaning of the partial overlapping. So according to VBT, when the two half-filled atomic orbitals, means the atomic orbitals which required electrons, when the two atomic orbitals which require electron come close to each other, then there exists a partial overlapping between these two orbitals, and this partial overlapping results in the decrease in the energy of the system. And how much amount of the energy decrease, it depends upon the extent of the overlapping. Stronger the overlapping, stronger will be the stability of that particular atom, because stronger the overlapping, greater is the release of the energy. Now, how extent of overlapping can be determined? In our previous videos, we have studied that we have s orbital, p orbital and d orbital, and we have the shapes of different orbitals also. Now, suppose if two s orbitals come close to each other, because these two s orbitals have same shape, so what happened? The extent of overlapping is greater. And suppose if one s and one p is coming, then the extent of overlapping is decreased from ss overlapping. So the extent of overlapping in ss and sp, out of ss and sp, the extent of overlapping is greater in ss. As a result of which, in this case, the energy release is greater as compared to the sp, as a result of which ss bond is more stronger than sp bond. Clear? So according to orbital overlap concept, what happened? Energy decreases due to the partial overlapping, of the orbitals, which requires electron. And after the partial overlapping, we get an area which is common. We get a common area, and in common area, the probability of finding the electron is maximum as compared to other area, as a result of which there is a force of attraction between the electron and both the nucleus, and due to this attraction, energy decreases. And how much energy decreases depends upon the extent of the overlapping, and extent of overlapping depends upon the shape of the orbitals, depend upon the type of the orbitals which are coming to overlap. Now, with the help of this also we can explain that why we get only H2, why we didn't get H3. We are studying that we get H2, 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 but we are not getting H3. Now, what is the reason behind this? Now, in case of two hydrogen, we know that configuration is 1s1 and 1s1. When the s orbital of first hydrogen overlap with the s orbital of the another hydrogen, what happens? The number of electron becomes 2. The number of electron becomes 2. It means both the orbital becomes fully filled, because this electron is shared by this and this electron is shared by this, so both the atomic orbital become fully filled. Now they don't require any electron, and if they don't require any electron, then there is no overlapping, and because of this we get H2 but not H3. We not get H3 because after getting H2, both the atomic orbitals get fully filled and then they don't require any electron, and because of not requirement of the electron, they will not overlap. And with the help of the orbital overlap concept, we can also explain that why He2 molecule does not exist. Now, if we talk about 2 He molecule, here it is 1s2 and here it is 1s2, and in the orbital overlap concept, we are saying that the orbitals which require electrons, they come close to each other. These two orbitals do not require any electron because these two orbitals are already fully filled. So they don't want to come close to each other, and if they don't come close to each other, then we don't get He2 molecule. So with the help of the orbital overlap concept also, we can explain that why we get some molecules and why we don't get some molecules.